Hello, I'm Father Kurt Hine with Light of Christ Anglican Church, and we are finishing up our Lenten study on St Athanasius' book on the Incarnation. So we are in the last section in which he's dealing with objections from Gentiles, and then there's a conclusion. So I'm going to give you a few questions to think about as you read through this chapter, and we'll talk about that later tonight. Sorry for this getting out there a little bit late. It's been a busy time, and I just want to let you know that I'm going to take a little bit of a break after, probably during Holy Week and after Holy Week. So you'll see me probably week after Holy Week. I'll be back. Hopefully you'll understand. It's a busy time. Okay, so here's some things to think about as you read through this final chapter. It looks like that St. Athanasius is dealing with these different issues that the Gentiles might have with the Incarnation. And he first deals with the impossibility of it. Is it impossible for the Word to become a human? So he's going to make a greater to lesser than argument. Then he's going to ask, why not a more glorious body than a human one? Why didn't God become why didn't the Word show up as let's say, the moon, he says, or the sun? Why a human body? How could he become a human and not compromise his deity? How does Athanasius deal with that? Why not just forgive humanity with a nod of the head, so to speak, sort of by fiat? And then he's going to go over proof of Christ's power over against three things: other gods, philosophers and their philosophies, and demonic forces and magic. So how is Christ shown to be more powerful than these three things? And then he gives a tremendous analogy. So what analogy does he give to explain why we can't understand everything about the Incarnation? What analogy does he give to show us why we can't understand everything about the Incarnation? And then what does he say that reality leads us into? What state does that reality lead us into? What emotion? What does Athanasius have to teach us today about effective evangelism? So think about that one. In this portion, we encounter that famous phrase from Athanasius, that God became man so that man might become God. Our book puts it, a particular translation puts it, he was incarnate so that he might become God. What does Athanasius mean by this? And what does he not mean by this? And then finally, in the conclusion, two things are most important for Athanasius for us to know God. What are those two things? All right, I've enjoyed reading this to you, with you, and I look forward to hearing what your thoughts are on this tonight.